That's where we are in this country. And there are a lot of people that actually think that way, too. Hey, he got elected. Now we can do anything we want. So the idea that we're in a republic where a lot of things are going to be almost always off bounds, off limits, that we've got at least 2 generations that hasn't been taught that in their government schools.
Well, Larry Pratt, how dangerous of a precedent is it? They know there's not a lobby for toy guns. They're using the ATF, that is a supposed Second Amendment regulating organization, to outside their jurisdiction go after this as a direct attack on the Second Amendment. I mean, clearly, we've got to stand up and fight this.
We do, and I think that we have the soldiers in the Congress that, once they become aware of this, are going to want to do it. David Codria has written a very good piece in, what is it called, Gun Rights Examiner on the web, and he includes an extensive report from the owner of this company.
All right, stay there. We're going to come back and talk about how we fight this and other attacks on the Second Amendment straight ahead. Larry Pratt, Executive Director, Gun Owners of America. I'm Alex Jones. Thanks for joining us, listeners and viewers. Southern Poverty Law Center's put out a bunch of reports the last month attacking myself, Michelle Bachmann, Tom Tancredo, Larry Pratt, Oath Keepers, Sheriff Mack, and with some of the things we cover a little more racy than these other groups. But when you start going after Larry Pratt and Michelle Bachmann, a very popular congresswoman from Minnesota, they're really getting desperate. And every night on MSNBC, you don't like government health care, you're racist. You don't want big government, you're racist. You don't want gun control, you're anti-Semitic. I think the ADL and Southern Poverty Law Center, Larry, are really destroying any tiny shreds of credibility they have with anybody. They are so desperate.
They have shown that their thought processes seem to have atrophied, and pretty soon that we can just put them in some museum where we have other mummies and things like that. I mean, these guys are just absolutely without any arguments. So they are resorting to, that's different. That's their most polite put down when you make a point that devastates their position. Well, my position's different. And the other is, of course, you're racist. And as you say, you see it nightly on MSNBC. And so if you want to see how liberals play that, I should say socialists, watch there. That's, the advantage that I kind of enjoy watching MSNBC because it's a first-hand newsletter report from the Communist Party USA. So I know what the enemy's going to be doing. And if I want to know what they're up to on socializing medicine and their latest little stratagem, trying to get it through the Congress, just tune in.
You get their talking points right there. But
yep.
We've also caught them, and Kurt Nimmo has an article about this up on InfoWars today. You'll have 5,000, 10,000, sometimes 100,000 at a Tea Party. They'll send one of their operatives in with a racist sign, and they put that on the news. Then people search their name and find out it's one of their operatives. I mean, this is really desperate type activity, and they're getting so upset that there's all these black people and Hispanics and Oath Keepers. I mean, look at the front page. I mean, it's incredible of their site. They're getting so upset that there's all these brown people at tea parties. I mean, they are really panicking.
Well, I was just delighted when the attack came out. I thought, how can it get any better than this when I get lumped in with Michelle Bachmann and all these other cast of characters that are leading the fight for freedom? That was a good day, and I don't know if they will ever understand how truly pleased and honored I am. And for them to think that they're hurting us, all they're doing is, as you say, showing that they've lost it. They really have lost it, and we can, as they like to say, we can move on now.
Well, here's another reason they're being discredited. Potok, and it's in some of the reports they're putting out on a weekly basis, was up on MSNBC a few nights ago. We played it yesterday, and he said, these crazy Tea Party people believe a world government's being formed. Well, you've got Brown, Gore, Herman von Rompuy, the head of the UN, Ban Ki-moon in the New York Times with the headline, "We Can Do It," calling for world government, calling for global carbon taxes. And then Potok gets up and says, we're conspiracy theorists. We believe there's carbon taxes. I mean, It's like saying Larry Pratt's crazy and Alex Jones is crazy. They say the sun comes up in the morning.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what you say. You're nuts. You're a racist. And they hope people might buy that, but they ought to take a look at their business model because it's not working too well. And who knows when will it be this year that the New York Times stops publishing a print newspaper and maybe remains as a little vestige of its former self online where nobody will bump into it even accidentally. I don't know.
Well, that's right. If you go to Alexa.com with all the web ratings, New York Times going down, The Nation going, all these globalist publications are going down. Anything that's patriotic and pro-liberty is exploding like we have rockets tied to our backs, and they're just destroying themselves. They're setting themselves on fire, immolating themselves in front of us.
I made one misguess on what Obama was like. I knew he was a Marxist before the election. I knew he was a thug. But I did think he would be more of a Fabian, more of that turtle mascot of theirs, moving more deliberately. But instead, he can't move fast enough to socialize everything that he can get his hands on. And it's I think for the first time, many people in this country now understand that liberalism has been a smiley face covering the reality of socialism. And now they see it in all its ugliness.
And they write all these news articles implying guns are illegal to create a false perception. It's not working. They've been exposed. Folks, check out gunowners.org. Sign up for their free newsletter or become a member. Larry Pratt, thank you for defending the Second Amendment. And
thank you for keeping your microphone on, Alex. Really appreciate you.
God bless, Larry. Take care.
Bye.
We'll be right back with a ton of other important news. Oh, yes. Wait till you hear what's coming up next.